So the Thunder is a ship that I don't really play all that often, and it really just comes down to HE being a very unsatisfying form of damage. And I think we all know that Thunder with HE is a pretty overpowered combination. But what happens when you only use the armor piercing? Well, I wanted to figure out. And this is the game I got. I actually only played one game. I was looking for some other battleships to play that were very consistent with their armor piercing against broadside targets. Much like HE is a bit of gimmicky damage, at least in my opinion. This is obviously up for debate. I'm not saying this is exactly how it is, but I perceive HE as a bit of a gimmicky, overpowered, game-breaking type of damage because it does so much at any angle, at any range. You can hit anywhere on the ship. To me, it doesn't take into account very much the positioning and general angle of your ship. It doesn't really take into account some of the more skillful parts of the game. Overmatch is a lot like that as well. So something like the Thunder overmatching cruisers is not the damage I'm looking for out of the AP. While it does a good job of that, I'm looking for ships that do really good AP damage on targets that I perceive as deserving of taking AP damage, which is broadsides, right? That's where I want the damage to come from. So Thunder with AP was definitely on the list. We had ships like Warspite, North Carolina, Montana, Baji, things like this that are known for being quite accurate and good against broadside ships. And this is the Thunder game I got. And as we just take like 20k to our superstructure, maybe AP isn't the most skillful ammo type either. Anyways, this is the AP only Thunder. And this ship is incredibly good, not just for its HE, right? I think that's what gets a lot of the attention. I have no idea how we didn't Citadel that North Carolina there. But the HE, of course, gets a lot of the attention for being overpowered. But you gotta remember, this ship has best concealment, best maneuverability. It has... it doesn't have good AA, but none of them really do. But that concealment and maneuverability, alongside the most accurate guns at tier 10 outside of the Slava, but these do have overmatch, and I generally find I have better games with AP Thunder than I do in AP Slava. Maybe that's just because I haven't played Slava enough. I haven't learned how to make the most use out of its incredibly strong guns that don't do much damage against angled targets. But as far as the Thunder, that concealment and maneuverability makes you feel like you're this cruiser with big giant guns. Of course, the Thunder also gets an insane reload. So I do think this ship would be an amazing battleship, even if they completely took away the HE. That's how good the other components of this ship are, let's say. So it's not just the HE, in my opinion, that makes this ship broken. It's the whole package, right? Now, broadside North Carolina, broadside enough. You got away the first time. Does he get away the second time? No, he does not. We do get him, so that's 1 out of 2 salvos that we got a good punish on, and that's really what I'm looking for. In the salvos where I aim well, which isn't always the case, let's be honest, and where somebody is flat broadside and at close enough ranges that you would expect, yes, I'm going to get a Citadel or two. Those are the salvos that I'm really looking for. Is AP really that good? Or is it just kind of too inconsistent to be really used all that much? Now, that Kremlin might have been too angled, but that was a really bad salvo, wasn't it? Not looking so good. But we'll see that guy again later. This ship is incredibly good. And unfortunately, the way this game has been designed, or the way these ships are going, is that you guys can't get this if you don't have the Thunder. It's really disappointing that some of these ships that are the best ships in the game for their tier, for their ship class, are just unavailable. Ships like Georgia, Massachusetts, they're gone. Thunder, of course, is gone. Småland is gone. I don't really think Summers was that good, but I mean, that one's gone as well. It's really disappointing that instead of balancing, we're getting ships that are just leaving, right? That's not amazing for the new player experience. Look at that salvo. Perfect dispersion, right? 3 shatters on his broadside at 11 kilometers. And yes, it is a Kremlin, but I think we should have more than enough pen at this range to actually get Citadels there. So, yeah, AP is very frustrating for me to use a lot of the time. I will be honest with you. I wasn't very happy at the end of this stream. I think I streamed for around 3 hours trying to find the consistent AP Battleship, and I thought I had found it a couple times, but there were a few moments where I just couldn't get away from armor piercing wouldn't do damage when I thought, at least based on my experience in this game, it really should be doing damage. And that was pretty frustrating. Of course, for those of you that know, 3 hours is, well, about double what I usually stream this game for. Personally, I have a difficult time playing this game for hours and hours on end, and that's probably just because I've played this game for too long. I probably have expectations that are far too high or extreme for what a online casual arcadey multiplayer game is going to give me, right? So for me personally, that's just the way it goes. But 3 hours is pretty good for myself to last that long playing this game all in a row, with battleships too. Normally I play other classes, switch it up, but we actually had some pretty great results. You might see a Baji game come down the pipe in a little bit, where I also had a really, really good game. But I mention all of this because this is the salvo right here. This is the salvo that I just couldn't get out of my mind. Yep, that just happened. That just happened. See, I'm already getting... this is like a day later. I should be way past this in my mental state, but it just tilted me all over again. That's crazy. That's crazy. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So 5 shatters, broadside Kremlin. Next shot, can't even Citadel and flat broadside again. And a Thunderer, keep in mind, is one of the most accurate battleships in the entire game, with some of the best AP in the entire game. So if this thing can't even do that, oh man, that's just disappointing. And I know Kremlin is a bit of that meme of having a too thick armor belt, but at those ranges, it really should be pens. At longer ranges, yeah, I can see it, but that should have been pens in my opinion. That's crazy. But we'll continue on, and that's the thing, is this is still a great game, right? So if you look at the end game score, obviously it's like, wow, AP Thunderer, it's so amazing, right? And it is quite good, but that one salvo, for whatever reason, has just stuck with me after this game. Not the other amazing salvos I had, it was that one frustrating one. Maybe that's my own issue, that I focus on the negative side of things a little bit too much compared to the positive, like there, where we just Citadel that NC again. So overall, I gotta say, AP Thunder is very good, and it's so good that as far as buffing or nerfing, they could easily nerf the Thunderer by taking its HE away, and it would still be one of the best battleships at tier 10, because this AP is just amazing. But like all armor piercing, I do find it very inconsistent and just a little bit too much of a dice roll. I would love to see some massive overhauls and changes, but I don't think we're going to see that. And then we get a Citadel on a curve first at max range. So it's a dice roll. It's a dice roll. It really is. It feels like you're just playing the lottery. You're rolling your dice, trying to get that Yahtzee, right? And that's disappointing, because I do wish that armor piercing was this risk versus reward type of ammo, where if somebody angles to you, you're not going to do as much damage, but when they're broadside, you're not guaranteed to dev strike, obviously, but you're going to get more damage. I wish it was that way, but it probably still is that way. I'm just so I just focus on the negative too much, I think, and that is my own issue. But as far as this game goes, I hope you enjoyed watching AP only Thunderer. It's not every day you see that in this ship, since I think, myself included, everybody plays it with HE, because that is just so good. But 235k, 3 kills, not too bad at all. And a nice little cleanup of the flank that we were on. Now, as far as the captain, I'm sure you've seen it before, but it's pretty standard as far as battleships go, right? We take the 3 skills on the right in the 4-point column. We take Adrenaline Rush, and as soon as we have 21 points, we're going to take Basic Survivability. If you find you struggle with Turret Traverse, you should take Grease the Gears. If you find you struggle with Torpedoes, like I often do, take Vigilance. AA skills aren't really that good on the Thunderer. The AA is just not good enough. Even though you have Defensive Fire, it's it's just not good. Even buffing it doesn't really do much. So I wouldn't recommend taking it. And of course gun feeder, because normally I think most people will be swapping between HE and AP in this ship. They won't be doing AP only, but if you decide to only use the AP on this thing, don't take gun feeder. It's a waste of points then, of course. Now, as far as the upgrades, this is what I've got. I'm using defensive fire mod. Might be a waste of it, honestly, but it's there. You could take probably damage control system over it. That's probably just the better way to do things anyway. And that's going to be it. That's the AP Thunderer. It actually worked out pretty well. But again, I still think it is just not quite as consistent as I like it. And if you're wondering how I would like to change things, well, it would be overpowered if we left AP the way it is and we made it just better dispersion, right? So I would love to see them tone back the alpha damage, but increase the dispersion. Of course, you'd have to do something about the overmatch as well then, because that is admittedly a very frustrating mechanic to deal with. I don't know all the answers. All I know is that that was a great game with a single very frustrating salvo mixed in the middle. So thanks for watching, guys, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.